It's official, y'all. Giannis Antetokounmpo has finally been traded. The Giannis trade saga is finally over. It's finally over. This journey we've been on as consumers of the NBA and the consumers of the NBA news and all these rumors and all these theories and all these predictions. This thing started like over a year ago. I don't know how many YouTube videos, TikTok, shorts, reels. I don't know how much content I produced about this Giannis situation and him eventually wanting out and then not wanting out and then wanting out again and then wanting to leave the Bucks but not wanting to leave Milwaukee. I don't know what he had going on with that. But after all that, it's finally over. And Giannis is officially a Miami Heat. The full details of the trade: the Bucks received Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Khalil Ware, Kasparas, the rookie that the Heat had this season, the number 13th overall pick, unprotected 2031 and 2033 first round picks, a 2030 first round pick swap, and a 2033 second round pick for Giannis and Bobby Portis. So you look at this trade and you say, man, the Bucks got an absolute haul back for Giannis. I mean, you got four rotation players, a guy in Tyler Hero that was an all-star, I think, not this past season, but the season before. Khalil Ware, who I believe is very, very interesting young guy, a very interesting young guy to add to your roster. Jaime Jaquez, who was in the running for Sixth Man of the Year last year, I believe. And then you got a rookie. And then you add on a 13th overall pick in a loaded draft. We don't know what 2031 and 2033 is going to look like. So them picks could mess around and be top picks because that's 5 years down the line. This is just a lot. I mean, you think about what's the good price for Giannis, and this is around Giannis's price range, looking at the different trades that we've seen over the last couple of seasons. But man, I think they gutted the Heat. They gutted the Heat roster. And there was a report that came out saying that the Bucks, if they made this trade with Miami, they wanted as much assets as possible because they did not want the Heat to go on and win a championship. And I think that's valid. And you look at the different packages that the Bucks were offered between the Heat and the Celtics. We're going to dive into the Celtics drama in a little minute. You look at that. I think this is the better package. You got stuff for your current and stuff for your future. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is a good move for the Bucks. And on the flip side, I think this is a good move for the Heat as well. The Miami Heat. All season long, we've been talking about how they need to do something and how they got to make some sort of move. And you look at the last couple of seasons with the whole Jimmy Butler drama and all that, the Heat have not made a move to get a star in the South Beach. They didn't go out and get Damian Lillard. They didn't go out and get somebody to put beside Jimmy Butler, and eventually led to Jimmy being on the way out. So now you go and get Giannis. You add Bobby Portis, who I think is also a pretty good pickup as well, and you put him with this squad of that you have left. I think my projected lineup that I just envision in my head right now, you got Davion Mitchell at the 1, Norman Powell at the 2, Andrew Wiggins at the 3, Giannis at the 4, and then Bam at the 5 with Bobby Portis coming off the bench. I like that lineup, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. You look at that lineup. That defense is really good. That defense is really, really good. The worst defender in that lineup is who? Norman Powell. Hey, I think you can get away with some stuff now, for sure. I think I want to see them on the court before I sit here and say that this move makes them championship contenders or Eastern Conference favorites or whatever. But I think they still have a really good team over there. The thing about the Heat was that they had so much assets. They had so many good young guys that they could trade off of a few of them, as you see in this trade. They could trade off a few of them, and then if they get back a star, they still got a pretty good team around them. So I like the trade for both teams. I think the Bucks, this is a good start to the rebuild because you got a bunch of young players. It's really good. You get a bunch of draft capital. So it's all about seeing what happens moving forward, because now, especially with the way that the new draft odds are, the lottery odds are that if the Heat mess around and get in the play in and, aren't that good or whatever, then they could mess around and have a top pick. And that pick would go to the Bucks in 2030, starting in 2030. So, crazy. Craziness. I'm going to talk about the other side of this Giannis trade drama. It was the rumors that it was going to be a Jaylen Brown for Giannis swap. And I think the offer came out to be Jaylen Brown and 2 first-round picks for Giannis. And I'm going to be honest, looking at what the Bucks got back for Giannis from Miami, I think this was the better package. The package they got from Miami was a better package because you get Jaylen Brown and you get 2 first-round picks, which is cool, but you got 2 first-round picks, really 3 first-round picks in this trade along with a whole bunch of guys. They got 4 basically, 4 first-round picks in this trade along with 4 solid players. This was the clear better move. You would have got Jaylen Brown, and you would have had the same roster that you had last season with Giannis, and I think it would end up being in the same spot you were this year, not making the playoffs. So I'm super excited to see what happens with both of these teams. If I was to predict the Bucks lineup, would they go Ryan Rollins at the 1? Well, they have a backcourt of Ryan Rollins, Tyler Hero at the 3. You're probably gonna go Jaime Jaquez, and at the 4 you go Kuzma. At the 5 you go Khalil Ware, with the young guy and your 13th overall pick off the bench, along with I think they still got Kevin Porter Jr. They still got Cole Anthony. So the Bucks got a decent little team for sure. Decent little team, but they're not going to be no contenders, or I don't think they'll be the playoffs next year. But this is a good start for the rebuild for them. I'm just so happy to be done with the trade drama. I'm so happy to be done with the trade drama, y'all. There was a bunch of other moves that could have been done that we've heard about. We've heard about the Cavs potentially getting Giannis, but the Cavs did not want to get rid of Evan Mobley. Once again, I don't know what the mindset was behind that, but hey, Giannis to the Heat. This should be pretty fun. I'm excited to see what happens because that lineup, y'all. That lineup's gonna play great defense. Great defense. You got Giannis and Bam down there in the paint. Then you got Davion Mitchell on the perimeter with Andrew Wiggins. Oh my goodness. There was another trade that happened tonight. So there was a 3-team trade between the Brooklyn Nets, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Chicago Bulls. The Nets came out with Julius Randle in the 28th overall pick in tomorrow's draft. The Timberwolves came out with the 30th overall pick and Mahamadou Gay. Not Muhammad Gay from the Hawks, but Mahamadou Gay from Chicago. And the Bulls come out with Nick Claxton. Now, this trade, I think all 3 teams, maybe except for the Nets. I guess the Nets got something. But I'm not really too crazy on Julius Randle on the Nets with, Michael Porter Jr. I'm not too crazy on that, but hey, they're a part of the rebuild. They got 2 more years, or maybe 1 year, 1 year in a player option with Julius Randle, so he'll probably be gone after next season. And they just get more draft capital, move up in the draft. You can't knock them for that. You look at the Timberwolves move back in the draft and salary dump Julius Randle so that they could eventually sign A.O. Dosunmu for a 5-year, $112 million contract. That's a good deal for him for sure. He was big in the playoffs, and I think him having a long-term home in Minnesota is big time. But I got to watch out for what else they got planned over in Minnesota. And look at Chicago. Chicago goes out and gets Nick Claxton, who is going to be a really good piece for them in their rebuild because now they have a true center, in Nick Claxton. So looking forward to seeing what happens tomorrow. We got the draft tomorrow. We're going to have a draft reaction, of course, because the Hawks got the 8th pick. And I'm excited to see what happens in the draft. We're going to drop about that tomorrow. But until next time, I'm going for 2. We out of here. Yeah.